of football.
Soldier Field is silenced. You could hear a snowflake kiss the crossbar.
And the silence you hear is Lambeau Field.
9 to noon.
This is a great setup, Bob.
Personal foul. Clipping.
This is old-fashioned ass kicking right here.
And that's a fact.
Just listen.
Time for 2 more.
Big boy's back.
Right side Suzuki trying to get around Stern. He did. Nick Suzuki got off near the goal line by Tarasenko, so he lobbed it back up top for Hudson. Once more Suzuki on the pop-out play. Caulfield. Cole Caulfield with 15 seconds left has put Montreal in front 4-3.
Deontay George in the paint. Hangs. Bailey rises. Rudy met him at the apex. Nurkic put back. That's no good. Jazz still with it. George. 3 ball in the corner. His career night continues. 43. Jazz now leading by 5. Deontay George will dribble this out. For the second time this season, the Timberwolves have lost 3 consecutive games. Friday in Houston, Saturday in San Antonio, tonight in Utah. A 43-point fourth quarter for the Utah Jazz. They rally from 15 down to win it.
Cool night on the local sports landscape last evening. Mr. Medved's team, L. Benchy, L. Heinze, L. And now it's snowing, L. Good morning. This is 9 to noon. Paul Allen, mad producer by my side. Parker Fox by our side at Parker Fox 24 via the tweet machine. Follow if you are so inclined. Twins manager Derek Shelton will be in this studio today at 11 o'clock. Mr. P. Fox, are you going to come back from First Resource Bank Minneapolis and get a selfie for your Insta with the manager?
I need one. I heard he's an excellent guy, so I'm excited for the ability to listen to that and to see the direction the Twins going. You know me.
Notice how you stopped there? I'm excited for the season.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you stopped because your Matamid I raised.
Yeah. Hang on.
Very respectful young man. You're not really excited for the season. No. You're excited for the opportunity for Mr. Shelton.
That's right.
You're excited for the gregarious nature of said manager 9 to noon today at 11 o'clock. And you're excited for whatever deals your surrogate me is going to cut with Mr. Shelton because he's a bourbon connoisseur. And I happen to have 3 bottles of aged Woodford Reserve from the Kentucky Derby.
Hello.
From one from a Derby gone by 23 years ago, then 16, then 9.
Wow.
So we're going to try to cut a deal for some Champions Club seats, and I ain't going by myself. So you're excited for that, all right?
I'll throw in a bottle of Yamasaki 12-year, and we'll call it a day.
Yamasaki, what? Watch your language in front of the ladies, punk.
Come on.
Yeah. Do I need to bump that? Do I need to dump that comment there? Yamasaki 12.
Yeah, Softy doesn't join until tomorrow.
It's the best bourbon you'll ever have in your life.
It is?
Yeah.
Yamasaki 12?
Yamasaki 12. They have an 18-year as well, but the 12 years is my favorite.
What happened to your Gophers in overtime last night in Columbus? And good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Fun game. You take it to overtime. We took Ohio State to double overtime last year and unfortunately lost. They just didn't have the depth on the stretch. We've talked about it on this show. They only play 7 guys. They'd prefer to play 5 guys. And Cade Tyson fouls out in overtime. And when that happens, you just don't have the offensive prowess that you wish you would have down the stretch. Overtime becomes a possession game. If you can win the possession battles, limit the turnovers, find ways to crash the offensive glass, you give yourself a chance to win. And Ohio State kind of jumped on them early in overtime. And Gophers were trailing there. And then you don't have Cade Tyson. You don't get the offensive power that you want to have. And really good game. Proud of the way the guys fought. Jalen Crocker-Johnson was awesome. 11 for 19 from the field, had 26 points. Cade Tyson, only 15 points. I know 15 is still a good number, but if the Gophers want to win games on the road, he has to be a 25-point performer. We in
the Love Covenant, the 9 to noon radio show, I think we're in unison, recognizing in the early stages of the Nico Medved run as a coach of the Golden Gophers basketball team, for the most part, he's done pretty good work beating a couple of ranked teams.
Yeah.
At the Ascani game and the whole thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're in unison.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so we're in unison with that. Yeah, they've lost 4 in a row. What do you think about all that? They've lost 4 in a row. It's starting to get a little frenzied.
Well, and it only gets tougher. You got number 7 Nebraska coming into your house.
Here comes Freddie.
Yeah, Hoiberg's in town on Saturday with the.
He's got that thing locked in right now.
Oh my goodness, they are.
They're 7th ranked in the country,
and they just beat Oregon by 35.
Oh, geez.
So this is a team that's not only beating teams, but they're dominating teams,
Wow.
and they
I
look
wish he'd
excellent.
done that before Parrish transferred. Is that where he went?
No.
Where'd he go?
Clay Parrish?
Hmm?
I thought he was. I hadn't followed it in a few days, but I thought did he go to Oregon?
Yeah, I think Parrish committed. Yeah, I think he committed to Oregon.
Okay.
Yeah, but nonetheless, yeah, it only gets tougher, and then you got to go to Wisconsin, and they've already beat you at your home place. So this is the Big Ten, PA. This is. And I was saying this morning, the refs start to put the whistle in the pocket a little bit too, and they let those boys play, and it gets physical. And when you only have 7 guys and you're already struggling with lingering injuries, it's inevitable throughout a season. It only gets tougher and tougher. So you got to find ways to protect home court. That's something I've always preached throughout my time. If you can protect home court and steal a couple on the road, you put yourself in a good position. Now, tough losses, tight losses, you're at least in the game. I know there's no moral victory, but you got to be proud of the way this team fights and the way they execute offensively.
Did you? Are you familiar with the name? Because you mentioned officiating. Are you familiar with the name Tony Correnti?
I don't know if I know that one.
Longtime NFL referee.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Big Ten referee.
Okay.
So Tony Correnti, I mean, I would imagine he probably did a game or two of yours over your run. I just wonder if you ever mixed it up with him.
No.
Freddie Hoiberg and his 7th ranked Huskers.
Yeah.
Like you said here Saturday. What's Freddie have cooking down Lincoln Way? Like, how all of a sudden did they get good?
Well, they have a big and rank Mast who was out with an ACL last year. He's a 3-point shooting, stretch the court kind of big.
Rank Mast.
Yeah, I think he's from the Netherlands. I think he's Dutch. He was a tremendous player. I played against him 2 years ago. He was out last year. We actually went to Nebraska and beat them there, which was an awesome game. We hadn't done that for 10 plus years. Then they get a transfer from Iowa and Price Sanford. He's about as good of a 3-point shooter as there is in the country. His brother Peyton was one of the elite shooters in the country as well. They were teammates at Iowa. So they bring him in, and then they add a Berke Butengel out of UCLA.
Oh yeah, him.
Yeah, you know Berke Butengel.
Followed him for years.
Poor man's Lou Alcindor.
Poor man, yeah, exactly right.
Talk of the AAU circuit.
Absolutely. Yeah. But no, they just have awesome pieces, and you know Hoiberg. He's been here in Minnesota. He's famous around these parts. He's an excellent coach. We were talking about it this morning. Not a lot of success. 7 wins in his first season, 7 wins in his second season, and now he's got a top 10 team in the country, and they're undefeated. 10 games maybe into Big Ten play. It's looking really good in Lincoln Way, and go Big Red, man. Those fans are nuts.
Let's not forget about. I assume it's his son Sam.
Yeah.
The senior who has come of age.
Yeah.
I think he started. I mean, this is his first year being a full-time starter. I think. But the 4 dimes, 5 rebounds. He's got a couple steals a game, nearly 9 points.
He's playing for his dad.
That's good enough for Kahn to pick up off the waiver wire LFL style.
The Hoiberg who single-handedly ruined my son Derek Allen's youthful basketball
Sam
career.
Hoiberg, there you go.
No, Jackson.
Oh, Jack. Oh, there you go.
And I think he ended up at Michigan State.
Wow.
Yeah, so Derek, we're 4th, 5th grade-ish. We're gonna start playing. Fred's coaching with the Wolves.
Yeah,
he's living in the western suburbs. So we're gonna, get the kids together in this not audition, but like tryouts, practices, things like that for traveling basketball. And Derek was paired with Jackson Hoiberg.
Yeah.
Right out of the gate. I mean, I'm like, holy cow, Freddie. I mean, has he had ankle weights on since he had like a 35-inch vertical as a 5th grader?
Yeah.
So Jackson played at Michigan State, right?
He did. Yeah, he was my grade as well. So we would play those youth tournaments against him, and played at Michigan State. And I think he was at UT Arlington as well. But nonetheless, Norda was mentioning Sam, his other son. He's a pest. He's one of those guys where you just hate playing against Sam because every pass you make is deflected. Every loose ball Sam Hoiberg's on. And now he's getting into to this space a little bit. He's been calling the Husker women's basketball games as the lead analyst on their radio show. So, give Sam a lot of credit in his off time. I'm sure he's doing all his schoolwork and nonetheless, but in his off time, he's calling the women's basketball games on the radio. It's awesome to listen to.
What do you think it would be like playing for your father? At that level.
Yeah, so I played for my dad all the way up through elementary, but I think there's another level it gets to at the college level where he's still your father, right? He's still your dad. But I think to your teammates, you have to kind of flip that switch on and off when you step on the court. Now, I never got to experience it. It'd be fun to kind of hear the perspective of some of the guys that got to experience that. But I think he's got to be your coach on the court, not your father. So I think you have to kind of flip that switch, like I said. But in terms of Sam Hoiberg, he's the kind of guy any coach wants. He's absolute energy. He's excitement. He's not going to score the ball crazy, but he knows his role. And I think that's important with a coach's kid to know I don't need to go out there and have 25, but I need to have 20 deflections on passes. I need to have 20 loose ball on the floors. Bring that energy, bring that effort. I think that's something he does really well.
I got a Freddie Hoiberg story for you. Would you like it?
Yeah.
2018, Vikings are at the Chicago Bears. So a couple of media relations friends of mine, Sam Newton, Spearfish Sammy, and John Ekstrom. When the Vikings schedule comes out, one of the first things we look at is we pair it with the NBA schedule to see if we are on the road when like the Bulls are playing at United Center. Yeah. So we've gone to a couple of Charlotte Hornets games nights before the Vikings played the Carolina Panthers. We've gone to a couple of Knicks games at Madison Square Garden before the team plays New York teams. Wow. Went to it's probably about 7 of them overall. One of them was in 2018 before the Vikings were going to play the Chicago Bears, and I've known Fred Hoiberg since for 20 years, since my son was 4 or 5 years old. So got in touch with Fred. He's coaching the Bulls. Things ain't going well. Toronto Raptors are in town. Fred arranged for some tickets for us. So we had 3 tickets across from the Bulls bench on a night that sadly Kawhi Leonard was not playing for the Toronto Raptors. Big Kawhi guy, wanted to see the best of the best. And so now they're playing the game, and Freddie's team's down at the end of the first quarter, maybe by 20. End of the first half, maybe by 28. End of the third quarter, maybe by 38. End of the game, they might have lost by 50 or 60 at home. Okay. So Fred had arranged through media relations for Spearfish, Ekstrom, and myself to have passes to go back to like the coach's office. And so like we're walking in through the bowels of United Center. I'm an NBA rube. I see Kawhi standing in this little closet. I'm like, Kawhi, what's up? He goes, hey, that's Kawhi. What's up?
Oh, he was feeling talkative that day.
Yeah, exactly. Got a selfie with Bobby Portis.
Oh, wow.
This is all on our way to Hoiberg's office. All right. So there's Bobby Portis. I'm like, Bobby, can I get a picture?
BP9.
Hey, BP9. And so walk into the Bulls locker room just for a second, see what an NBA locker room's like, even though they just took it was a 50 or 60 point L. I'm not kidding you. They lost by that many points.
Wow. Yeah, they lost 122-83 in November of 2018.
What was it?
It was 122-83. So about a 40-point L there.
Yeah, there you go. and like Kawhi didn't play. I think Freddie Van Vliet might have had a massive game for 70. Toronto. It was a bad night for Freddie.
Oh, this isn't the Danny Green, Serge Ibaka days. That would have been a fun game.
Yeah, it was fun unless you're provided the tickets by the coach of the team that's on the wrong side of the 50-point L. So we walk into Fred's office, and this is where self-awareness just, we were tepid to go in there in the first place. They just got killed.
Yeah.
Media relations people work with coaches. I work around coaches, so we kind of know what the vibe is like. So we're like, what do we go? Let's go in. He gave us the passes. He's sitting behind his desk. It looked like he had just seen the proverbial ghost.
Wow.
How you doing? All right, man. Well, anyway, appreciate the tickets and everything. We were in there for a grand total of 20 seconds.
I always love that.
It was not the right place to be. Now, sadly, within the next 2 or 3 days, he was fired as head coach of the Chicago Bulls. We saw professional dead man sitting.
Yeah. It's a tough one.
Very uncomfortable.
So you may have watched the game where
it might have been his last
Is
game.
it still Reinsdorf? Is it still, what is it, Paxton? I forget the name of the decision makers with the Bulls. But you may have saw the moment where it was over for him.
Yeah, I think that might have been his last game.
Which is awful, by the way, because he's going to work with. I mean, you got Boucher coming off the bench. We got Pascal Siakam. We got Kyle Lowry when he could actually. When he had legs.
Siakam the Raptor,
and he's going.
That's right.
Yeah. He's going to work with Justin Holiday, Jabari Parker. Remember how just underwhelming, sadly, his career was. A young Cam Payne, Wendell Carter Jr. Robin Lopez off the bench providing some inside scoring pop. Cristiano Felicio. I mean, how is it possible?
This wasn't Fred's fault.
No, I'd give him an extension and
wow.
That roster was tough.
He could have used Rank Mills. What's the guy's name?
Rank Mast.
Rank Mast at age 5 in that game. Freddie Hoiberg, one of the kindest ever. Don't leave home without him. Do you deem the Wolves' loss last night a bad loss? Because we're hearing that quite a bit this morning. It actually started last evening with columnist Lavelle Neal III texting Nordo and I. Bad loss for Wolves.
I do. I think if you want to be a championship caliber team, which we've found ourselves in the last 2 years in the Western Conference Finals, competing for championships, you have to find ways at the end of road trips to finish them out, right? So you can look on this on paper and say, 4-game road trip, you played the Spurs, the Rockets, you played some good teams, and you just weren't able to finish it off. That's okay. We'll go back home and we'll win these next 2, and you'll find a solution. But at the end of the day, you're going into Utah, a team that you should beat by 15 to 20 points every time you play them because you're a better team.
Incorrect.
You don't agree with that, huh?
No, not. Because NBA is not plug-in like that, like college basketball.
Totally.
You know what I'm saying?
Anybody can beat anybody.
Well, I'm not saying that you should lose the game.
Yeah.
And they were 12.5-point favorites on the road last night. But as we discussed yesterday with Chris Finch, Keontae George is top 2 or 3 underrated offensive players in the NBA.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about him. Why? Because he's mired with Charch in Utah. Ace Bailey.
Same rest stop?
You know this, man. Ace Bailey's skilled.
Yeah.
By the way, when Ace Bailey, I don't know how old he is, feels like he's 20 or something. But
younger.
When he grows and when he matures and fills out, he's rail thin. First time I've really watched him last night. That Ace Bailey is gifted.
Yeah, I played against him last year at Rutgers. I was sharing this morning how he isolated on me. I got on a switch with him and just kind of looked at me and smirked and then just knocked one down in my face. So I was like, it's gonna be a long night guarding Ace Bailey.
What NBA players do.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Walter Clayton, you can't find him with a searchlight.
I know he was non-existent. Played 13 minutes, but I love the way.
I feel what you're saying,
and I love the way that the Jazz approached it too. They came in and said, "Hey, this is a team that's on the end of their road trip. We can steal one here." And I think you're right. You look at a guy in Keontae George. You wouldn't believe he's a top 20 scorer unless you followed the NBA closely. He's 18th in the NBA in scoring, almost 25
and he gets to the line a million times a game.
Oh, he is excellent.
Which is the separator.
Yeah, it's exactly right. But
wouldn't you be kind of frustrated, though, on a night where it's like, okay, Keontae, young, budding, he had, I think, 30 the previous 3 out of the 4 games. Like, his scoring, this kid's going to be a baller for sure.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't need Isaiah Collier having some sort of semi-career night where he's 7 to 10. He's usually just a couple of buckets and 8 dimes.
Svi Mihalik, who knew?
Come on, it's my guy. Svi Mihalik, he's my dog. Man. Yeah, we were at the same agency in college, so we would work out together in the summer a lot. And what a dude.
Nurkic with a triple-double? Right. You can't have everybody go off. So it's like, I get where you're going with this. Totally agree in some respects, but it's like you lose 3 in a row. This was the slump buster after the tough doubleheader. Everybody with a pulse on that team went off last night. It felt like against the Howl, man. That was ugly. That was ugly.
Not arguing. Yeah. Utah was the thorn in the proverbial side last year. Because Anthony Edwards,
on the suspension bit, you're right.
When he was playing the childish card with those tees.
Yeah.
Well, the one he missed was at Utah, and they lost by a point.
Yeah.
And then that ended up being the separator from home court advantage and postseason stuff and things like that. So hopefully this one doesn't come back to bite him a little bit, P. Fox.
Yeah, you just look at the bench production, too, and it's like Bones Highland only plays 4 minutes and has 0 points, and Jalen Clark plays almost 20 minutes. You just need more.
Figure that out.
You need more from your bench. And
Who's
I think
Cody Williams? What is happening here?
Never heard of him.
Come on, that's Cody Williams is out of Colorado.
Is he?
And I think he's brothers with Jalen Williams, J-Dub, on the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah.
So
The right J-Dub?
Yeah, the right J-Dub.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Well,
yeah.
respect that.
Baron J only played 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened there.
I don't understand that because I loved his production against the Spurs. I loved his minutes. He was probably a little bit more excited playing his Frenchman and Rudy Gobert and Victor Wembanyama. But nonetheless, you have to produce every single night. And to find yourself with only 5 minutes as a guy who's kind of on the end of the road trip is you got to be the guy that brings energy, and he only gets 5 minutes. I don't know. I just didn't love the effort. I watched the whole game. I just didn't love the effort from start to finish. You gave up 127. That's just not a winning recipe.
I was in full-time Wild mode last night.
I was a little bit too.
So I was in and out of the Wolves game.
What a game.
But I watched them. I mean, the defense in the fourth quarter, they gave up 43 points.
I know.
Like they weren't getting in front of people. And I mean, Nurkic, 16 points, 18 rebounds, 10 assists.
Yeah.
He channeled his inner Joker last night.
Yeah.
But Nurkic is gifted.
He is.
And
gifted
he's
rebounder.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's not, he's a veteran, but he's not like super old near the end of his career. He's had injuries and stuff. But Nurkic, I believe, was with the Denver Nuggets, and then they drafted Joker. And they're like, hey, these guys play the same.
Yeah.
So then Nurkic, they moved him off to Portland.
That's right, yeah.
Then he was like battling injuries and everything. So, I mean.
And then the Suns, and then he was with Charlotte. He's kind of become just kind of big guy, gun for hire part of his career now.
The New York Knickerbockers have lost, I think, 9 of 11.
Yeah.
And reports are they've become bored with Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, can you believe
that they
this?
want to trade him. Now, those are reports.
Yeah.
We got a lot of sources, sources here, sources there. It's like nobody's like an associate to owner James Dolan has confirmed to the New York Post that Karl Anthony Towns is tradable, and Memphis and Orlando and a bunch of other teams are calling. Man, they get when things are bad with I guess it's all the New York pro teams, maybe all the college teams. Man, it gets loud in New York when things go the wrong way with the Knicks and the Giants and the Yankees. Damn.
Welcome to the spotlight, right? Welcome to the moment.
Dumb.
Welcome to the spotlight, young man.
Exactly right. But the Knicks have been so terrible defensively, PA. They've been one of the worst defensive teams in the NBA over that stretch. And you
Didn't
know
need Tibbs.
You know this.
Why'd they get bored of Tibbs?
I don't understand
they
that
went to
one
the Eastern
either.
Conference Finals.
I don't understand that one either. It doesn't make sense to me what they're doing in New York. And now you look at you're finding a scapegoat, right? And if that happens to be Karl Anthony Towns, it happens to be somebody. But this is the life we live in here, where the spotlight's extra bright in New York, and you got to find somebody to put the blame on. And granted, Karl hasn't been the player that he needs to be for this team. Jalen Brunson
Last year he was.
He was excellent last year.
Bomb last year.
He was
It's
excellent.
like everybody's like, we got done on the trade.
Yeah.
Nah, we won that trade.
I agree.
Randall for half the price, DiVincenzo, and I think we got a first out of it too.
Yeah, but there has to be somebody to blame, and they're putting it on Karl, which is too bad. But
Ain't putting it on Brunson.
No,
Brunson's a dog.
Couldn't put it on Brunson.
Jalen Brunson is a dog,
shows
and
up
his
every
father,
night.
Rick, an assistant on the staff, would whoop anybody's ass anytime,
Don't tell
anywhere.
Dante DiVincenzo that, right?
Rick Brunson, man, when he played, he was tough.
This is self-destruction, though.
Yeah.
I mean, whether you guys were just talking about Hoiberg, and you mentioned Parker, you said he started out, I mean, it was abysmal, right, in Nebraska? But with patience and time and growth, now he's finding his squad as a top 10 operation. Now, pro sports, we have less patience. We just saw 10 coaches fired, or 10 openings, I should say, and you hit it, PA. I think it was you that said like 46 coaches, or there was something, just the turnover when it comes to coaches and regimes, the lack of patience. If they were going to shop Karl, I would have thought Tibbs would have gotten bored with him. You know what I mean? Where there would have been some sort of outburst. There's the emotional superstar versus the gruff head coach. Tibbs loved him. Tibbs figured out how to use him at a high level. They went to the playoffs, I think 4 out of the 5 years that Tibbs was there. To now have him as the scapegoat is ridiculous, and it's only going to set the Knicks back. I mean, as hungry as they are for a title, the lack of patience is going to prove to be disastrous for them.
It's almost mind-boggling to think this is the team that won the NBA Cup about a month and a half ago.
Maybe that's the problem.
It could be.
Put all their energy into winning the wrong championship cup.
And they've won 2 of their last 11, and they go, yeah, right? They were fired up to win something in New York.
They've been diseased.
So you're exactly right. I think they might have just been too excited to finally win something in New York.
Well, did they hang that banner next to? That's probably the issue. They got a little too excited about it.
Oh yeah, that's what the players' meeting was. Jalen Brunson was like, "We're taking that banner down. We can't have this thing hanging up here." But no,
right.
It's been interesting.
Yeah, I messed up the clock already. Give me your best 15 seconds on Patriots at Denver. Who wins and why?
Yep, Patriots. It's easy to me. Quarterback play is the most important thing in the playoffs.
Easy, you say?
It's an easy win for the Patriots. I think they win by 2 scores.
Nice.
Yep.
Rams and Seahawks.
Rams were my pick from the jump.
So you like both the road teams in the most important game of the year.
I like both the road teams. That was the hard one for me. 2 close games in the regular season, 1-point victory and a 2-point victory. But I picked the Rams from the jump, and I got the Rams winning it all.
Yeah, understandable.
In a game where home field advantage means so much, he's taking the road team.
12s be damned.
Come on.
When do you leave?
I like it.
When do you leave for Milan?
Yeah, we don't leave. Taylor leaves next Thursday, and I don't leave till February 9th.
Yeah, okay.
So we got some time together, man.
All right, so let's see. 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's like 4, 5, or 6 o'clock in Milan right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, which means you're going to be getting some calls from 9 to noon.
Come on. I'm in.
Are you going to go to the USA men's hockey games also?
Yeah, we're working. They're a little expensive, so we're working out.
Bro, your fiance is going to steal the show in worldly fashion in the Olympics for the red, white, and blue.
We hope
you
so.
You should
right?
be able to get a couple in the upper deck.
I know. That's what I'm hoping, too. Why can't we get some comp tickets here?
Talk to Heinze about that.
Call up Jack Eichel. No, I'm hoping to get over to some events. It's all dispersed throughout Italy, so it's going to be tough to do the skiing and stuff. But I'm going to be in my hockey mode. That's for sure. Yeah.
So let's do some Covenant check-ins. From Milan, if you get the opportunity. All right. Have a good day, brother. Love you.
Love you, man.
Parker Fox at Parker Fox 24 via Twitter. And thanks to TimberTech and TimberTech.com. What's on deck 9 to noon includes an extremely truncated Vikes Bites, followed by Florio and PFT. Yeah, you know we. Bob Sosi, the play-by-play voice of the New England Patriots, joins 30 minutes from now. And new Twins manager Derek Shelton is in studio at 11 o'clock. We happen to be quite excited about that. Nordo produces. I'm Paul Allen. Good morning. What's going on? Be safe in this snow. Here comes Nordo with that cash thing.
Cash thing. The fan wants to give you a shot at some bonus bucks with the National Cash Contest. Go to KFAN.com. Enter the keyword PAY. P-A-Y. Simple word. PAY. And you enter that in at KFAN.com. You might get paid. So keyword is PAY at KFAN.com.
Vikes Bites.
Yeah, welcome back. And I got to hit a vibe first. The 2026 Progressive Minneapolis Boat Show. It sails into the Minneapolis Convention Center this weekend, the 22nd. So that starts tomorrow through the 25th. You can check out a wide selection of boats and boating gear, some must-see attractions, and it's fun for the whole family. You can get the full details. Find out how you can register for a new 24-foot DACA dock. Now, just go to KFAN.com, keyword calendar. The boat show's always fun. I get to look at a ton of cabin cruisers, stuff I can't afford.
Well, down the street is the Regressive Boat Show. There they have displays of the Titanic and the boat that was marooned for Gilligan's Island.
I always love that one.
At the Regressive Boat Show.
I'm going to hit 2 things over the next few minutes here. Vikes Bites, I'm going to hit the purple momentarily. With Derek Shelton, new Twins manager, he's going to be in studio at 11. I would love to potentially get a few talkbacks from listeners, Twins fans, baseball fans, season around the corner, good times, bad times. We get all of that. But the opportunity for me maybe to fire off some talkbacks from you, the listener, as he jumps in studio at 11. Big questions for the new manager. Well, free iHeartRadio app. Hit that microphone. Give us up to your best 30 seconds. And maybe we'll fire off some talkbacks for Derek Shelton during the 11.
Quite possible. Rethought it a little bit after saying the set list.
Maybe I should have asked you before I said that.
That's okay. That technically comes back to my bad. Speaking of talkbacks, about 45 minutes from now, we have a Hodgepodge 1020.
Oh.
I do want to put this in front of people right now. And with the free iHeart audio app, you can leave that talkback. You know how to do it. And we'll set them up like this. with the Minnesota Twins and the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
How close, the Wild and the Timberwolves.
Ooh.
How close are the Wild to being considered a legit Stanley Cup candidate? And how tough was that Wolves game for you last night? How good are the Wild? And what do you like or loathe about the Timberwolves? I have reasons for putting one of these talkbacks in there, and we will share those in the 10 o'clock hour.
Well, I totally dig all that. Let me hit you with this. Durante Jones, it's been reported that the Packers have requested a chance to interview Durante.
That's nice.
Say it ain't so. And that's kind of, we're going to go down the line. You're going to hear more inside steam and bits and opinions and opining from Florio around the corner.
Yeah.
But that's a nugget there. Durante Jones potentially interviewing for the Packers defensive coordinator spot. Brian Flores, did his interview with the Steelers yesterday. They announced the completion of it, as is in vogue now. There's a social media post where they get Schefter to say, our interview with Brian Flores has been completed. Interesting, though, as Mike McCarthy, former Packers coach, former Cowboys coach, has a meeting with them today. So maybe that's something to watch. And I've also, maybe this is a question.
Chris Shula.
That's the thing, is Don's grandson, Chris Shula.
Favored.
He's not just the Rams defensive coordinator, but well-known McVay tree acolyte, as he is. He is heavily favored to be the next coach
for the Steelers.
Of the Steelers. So that maybe means Flores is going to be back in purple, and we'd love to have him. No charges being filed against Jordan Addison, that misdemeanor trespassing bid at the Hard Rock. He was asked to leave. He didn't. He got arrested. But the state attorney not following through with charges, and Addison's own lawyer may be moving forward with a civil suit alleging a false arrest. So I guess watch that. I did have some Kyle Rudolph audio that we don't have time to play now. I might hit that later on in the 10.
What's up with Rudolph?
Oh, Rudy was on Up and At It with Kay Adams.
Yeah.
And he was just kind of giving his perspective on maybe where the purple aired in 2025 as it relates to the QB spot. And moving forward, he even offered up a name of somebody maybe that comes in and elevates that QB room in 2026.
We have to have that at 10:20. I had no idea that took place.
Yeah, I can throw that in there. Absolutely. So, but other than that, that's some Vikes bites. Raheem Morris being bandied about as a name. Maybe we talk about that at 10:20. There's some connections, the 6 degrees of KO and McVay, et cetera.
Jim Harbaugh hired Mike McDaniel.
Yep.
That's not a bad hire for the Chargers.
No, that's not a bad hire at all. And we'll continue this conversation throughout 9 to noon.
PFT, we is next. Mike Florio is the creator of ProFootballTalk.com, our favorite pro football website, ProFootballTalk.com. He's also part of NBC's Football Night in America and author of a book called Big Shield, a book about pro football and gambling. And Mike Florio joins us now. Speaking of gambling, how about that point shaving bit that emerged in college basketball? Prosecutors, and this is a little old, but we haven't chatted with you since, and you're smart about this stuff. Prosecutors allege the scheme targeted more than 29 games, involved more than 39 players across at least 17 NCAA Division I programs, expanded from overseas professional leagues into U.S. college basketball as recently as January 2025. Federal authorities say the FBI's investigation uncovered text messages, social media, direct messages, FaceTime calls, and travel arrangements, leaving a substantial digital trail. Good morning, Mike, and what do you think about all that?
Not surprised by any of it, Paul. Every time we hear about one of these scandals, I think to myself, number one, when's the next one? And number two, how many are out there that we're never going to find out about? With so many of the ones that happen when there's an attempt to rig prop bets, we only know about it because the people who have the inside information decide to be pigs at the trough, and they engage in betting activities that set up alarms within the sports books. If you just don't go crazy with that information, if you decide to take it slowly with a stream of inside information over time, no one's even going to detect it. So I just think that these isolated incidents are evidence that it's much more widespread than maybe we know, and we'll find out in specific examples here or there. It's also normalized now. That's really the key. Beyond legalized and clearly monetized by the NFL and other sports leagues, it's normalized. People are seeing these ads everywhere. They're on TV. They're masquerading as content in pregame shows. And so the players much more easily justify crossing the tracks and engaging in things that give them a little piece of the action too. It's just easier to justify it because everybody's betting and the sports books are making billions of dollars off of the bets that lose. My dad told me, the bookie back in the 70s, you can't win. There's a book that came out yesterday, Everyone Loses. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to read it. It's about the whole sports betting phenomenon. It's rigged against the bettors. This isn't the stock market where a rising tide lifts all boats. Your money goes into their pockets. They have billions because they've taken it from you through all the ways that the system is set up and all the little ways it's rigged. $1 at a time becomes billions for the sports books and billions that the individuals lose. And I think it's very easy for the players to now justify doing things that used to be very, very, very rare because they see it everywhere. It's just part of the fabric of their existence now. So that's my take on it. And I expect more of these issues to come. And eventually there will be one that is big enough that sparks a massive change and a phony cry by the NFL that we had no idea this could happen.
Do you think it's tougher to fix games in a digital age because of the digital trail and things like that?
Well, I think it's always tough to fix outcomes of games. The more players on the field, the more people involved. You know, you do a boxing match, you got one person you have to get to. You do a basketball game, you got 5. You do a football game, you got 22, and the coaching staff and the officials. So rigging a game, I think, is a real challenge. The prop bets, the crack cocaine of the sports betting industry, those are the things that need to go away. And, you know, people who are bought and paid for by the sports books get mad when I say that, and they say, oh, you pick games. Yeah, we're picking games for fun. And I tell them all the time, don't listen to me. Don't listen to me if you're going to go wager your hard-earned money. Those prop bets allow the gambling types, and this is part of the storyline of Big Shield, to get to specific players and either get information from them or get them to participate in these situations where somebody is suddenly going to be injured and exit a game, and the under on their prop bets is going to hit. So, yeah, look, there will be a treasure trove of digital evidence if somebody actually investigates. First, you got to know there's a problem. And that gets back to my point. Only when someone who has that information overdoes it in their betting that it sends up red flags within the sports books and they start investigating, that's when they work backward. I suspect there's plenty of digital evidence out there if somebody was actually looking in the right places and looking at the right people. But there's an entire universe of athletes and programs and coaches, and where do you even start? You're fishing. So the first indication that there are fish in the pond is when someone overdoes it with their betting, and someone at DraftKings, FanDuel, wherever, they're like, oh, wait, we got a problem here because all of a sudden there's a crap load of money coming in on this guy's under tonight.
Right. Or and I read this relatively closely, but it was a week ago. Greed brought this group down, right? I mean, when you start betting 50 dimes on South Carolina State and Kennesaw State games, I mean, who doesn't think that's going to be on somebody's radar?
Well, exactly. And that's when they start looking. So, you know, you scratch an itch, so the itch has to pop up. And I think the reality is there's a rash all over the body of the entire sports industry, but they only scratch at the spots where that itch is the most pronounced by somebody doing something that causes someone to say, hey, something weird's going on here.
Hey, and lastly here, I mean, it's the easy way out, which a majority of people will take. And so maybe these players thought it would be easy money and obviously thought they'd never be caught. I wonder if the perps were frustrated they didn't get NIL money and others on the team did. You know what I mean? I just wonder if there's a name, image, and likeness money that factors into, what about me? Oh, okay, I'm going to do this.
I think that's a great point. Beyond the fact that the gambling is now so normalized and everybody is getting paid, the schools have their sponsorship deals, the leagues have their sponsorship deals, the sports books are making money hand over fist. Now on top of it, the star players have their NIL deals. I'm going to get mine. Jonte Porter's brother explained at some point last year on a podcast appearance that it's so easy for a guy, the one guy out of a group of friends who strikes it rich by becoming a professional athlete, and his group of friends didn't have those same skills. And, hey, I can throw them a bone. I can give them a little here. I can tell them a little something, and they can go make some money. No harm done. No victims involved. That's part of it, too. And I just think that what was overlooked in this whole Wild West approach to legalizing gambling and having these ads everywhere we look, and a whole generation of kids growing up where it's as normal as anything else, it's going to create incentives, and it's going to create temptations, and it's going to make it easier for people to say, you know what, I'm going to go get mine, and I'm not going to feel bad about it because everybody's getting theirs one way or another.
Championship game weekend, games weekend in the NFL, AFC. Does winning the next two solidify Sean Payton's place in the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
I think so, because, look, without a second Super Bowl win, and specifically without becoming the first coach to ever win Super Bowls with two different franchises, and no one has ever done that. You've had guys like Parcells who've won one and gotten back, but no one's ever taken two different teams to a Super Bowl championship. The guy who does that is the guy who breaks through the current Mike Holmgren, Mike Shanahan. There's a logjam of coaches that can't get in, and they're always changing the rules and the voting thresholds, and it's one of the reasons why I'm very frustrated with the whole Hall of Fame process. They change the rules all the time. The consistency isn't there. It's going to be hard for a coach who retires with one Super Bowl win to get past all the other guys that are still stuck there, whether they have one or whether they have two, like Mike Shanahan. So you get two with different teams. That's what puts you in that Belichick category. Not that it's the same, but Belichick's a no-brainer. He's going to jump past everyone else who's waiting in line who maybe already should be in. That's the kind of thing that's going to get Peyton in.
So how does one win this one with Jarrett Stidham at the helm?
Well, I don't think it's impossible. He's been in the program for 3 years. Sean Payton believes in him. And now Sean Payton has the card to play with his players all week long. Nobody believes in us. Look at everything we've accomplished. No one thinks that this is a 22-man starting roster. They think it all rose and fell with Bo Nix. I mean, think about that. Bo Nix was viewed as a liability to the team, that he's not yet where he's going to be. He could maybe become Drew Brees at some point, but it's not like he's out there slinging missiles all over the place like Peyton Manning or Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady. And so, yeah, you take out Nix, you put in Stidham, who was there in Denver longer than Nix, and in theory knows how to go out and run the offense the way Sean Payton wants it to be run. It's a hell of an opportunity.
Right.
Because I don't know how much of a fall off there is, and the benefit that they pick up from it is we can now have a legitimate and true and authentic no one believes in us moment that can fuel a team to win a game that maybe they weren't supposed to win.
NFC, Mike Florio, ProFootballTalk.com.
PFT.
Sunday marks the fifth road trip in 6 weeks for the Rams. Seventh time in the last 9 weeks they've played away from home. But no big deal, right? Given so many road fans infiltrate SoFi.
Yeah, I don't think it's an issue at all. I think they're well suited to playing on the road. You look at what they did in that game in Seattle, Week 16. They had 581 yards of offense. They were up 30-14 in the fourth quarter. They just fell apart. They had the punt return that got Chase Blackburn, the special teams coordinator, fired because that started it all. That moved everything in the direction of the the Seahawks, excuse me. The Rams suddenly stopped functioning on offense after that until they drove down the field at the start of overtime to score a touchdown. And other than that, the Rams win that game. So they're capable of going up there and winning that game. And yes, the Seahawks look pretty damn good in their playoff win over the 49ers, winning 41-6, and their defense looked incredible in the 13-3 loss to end the regular season. They seem to be far better than they were when they gave up 581 yards to the Rams. But it wasn't all that long ago that they gave up on the same field where they're going to be playing on Sunday, 581 yards to the LA Rams.
Mike Florio, PFT, we. And with the head coaching opportunities, man, that was quick for Jeff Hafley. D coordinator for a couple of years with Green Bay, and boom, head coach of the Miami Dolphins. That's a tricky job down there, isn't it?
Well, it's always tricky because, look, dysfunction in any NFL team that has a history of it comes from the top. And you've got an owner who doesn't live in Miami. He's not in the building on a regular basis. You'll have different people with different agendas, different fights. There's no one there to really resolve it the right way. And now that you take a couple of Packers guys in John Eric Sullivan and Jeff Hafley, and ideally they work together, they cooperate, they try to address the issues that the team has had in the past. They're going to have a $99 million cap burden on the back end of the Tua Tagovailoa contract that they have to deal with. But, you know, Hafley made the ultimate bet on himself, leaving Boston College's head coach during the earlier years of the college football chaos, rolling the dice on a defensive coordinator job in the NFL, and 2 years later, here he is, head coach of the Miami Dolphins. So we'll see what happens. I'm surprised that neither the Dolphins nor the Titans pressed pause on their searches once Sean McDermott became available, because I'll take a proven winner who's gone to 7 straight playoffs, but at least Hafley has been a head coach. You know, so far we haven't seen a first-time head coach hired in this cycle. And there may not be many of them because teams are looking for guys who have shown they can do it. When you hire someone who's never been a head coach before, you're taking the chance that he just doesn't have the skill set, because it's a very different skill set to go from X's and O's to running a full team.
Does anybody want to coach Arizona or Las Vegas? I mean, I know we have second interviews, at least with Arizona, but, like, does anybody really want to coach those teams?
Well, you'll hear people say from time to time that there's only 32 of these jobs. Mm-hmm. And that's true, but one of them's in Arizona and one of them's in Cleveland. Mm-hmm. And what you're doing, especially if you have head coaching experience, if you've had a head coaching job that didn't go well and you rebound with a team that you possibly won't be the head coach at for very long, it's the Eric Mangini, it's the Adam Gase. After that second one, you're never heard from again. So making the right decision the second time around is critical. I don't think Robert Saleh takes the job in Tennessee unless he firmly believes it's going to be a much different outcome for him than it was with the Jets, where it never really got off the ground, no pun intended. He never had a quarterback. He only had access to Aaron Rodgers for 4 plays of one season and 5 games of another, and he got fired after week 5. So I think he sees Cam Ward and what he can be, a lot of cap space, new stadium. He sees an opportunity. But I don't see that same opportunity with the Cardinals, who have never had, Paul, they've been around for over 100 years. They've never had a head coach for more than 6 years.
Wow.
No one has made it more than 6 years. And the two, here's your trivia answer, impress your friends and family or strangers who care. Jim Hannafin and Ken Wisenhunt made it 6 years.
Wow.
Nobody else has made it 6, and no one has made it longer. Bruce Arians lasted 5.
Yeah, that's brilliant. With Robert Saleh and that Titans job, I don't know, maybe 5-year deals are the norm these days for, like, second time coaches. 5 years. I mean, 5 years, that's aggressive, don't you think?
Well, that's what dysfunctional teams have to do to get someone who may have options to take the job. Hafley got a 5-year deal. When the 49ers hired Kyle Shanahan, I think he got a 6-year deal because they had gone Jim Harbaugh, Jim Tomsula, Chip Kelly. It was so bad. You had the owner sitting up there explaining why you can't fire the owners. Hey, you know what? You just can't do it. In some cities, that would be the best way to turn things around, is to find a way to get rid of the owner based upon incompetence. But, you know, Paul, I say this all the time. You got to pass 2 tests to drive a car. You got to pass 0 tests to own an NFL team. You just have to either show up with the biggest bag of money or have your name in the will.
Amen.
That's it. That's the only qualification. You don't even need to know a thing about football. So you get these teams that have owners that just keep spinning their wheels, and it puts the coaches who they're going to hire in position to say, I don't want a 4-year deal, I want a 5-year deal, I want a 6-year deal. And you prove to the world by paying that extra money and making that extra commitment that we're going to stick with this guy a little bit longer. The buyout may save him. Hell, I think the buyout saved Aaron Glenn this year in New York, and we all know the buyout saved Zach Taylor in Cincinnati. There'd be a clean sweep in the AFC North if Mike Brown was willing to pay the remainder of Zach Taylor's contract.
Buyout terrorism, I forgot about that. All right, lastly, a minute and 40 seconds, you get it all. 2 interviews now for Flores in Pittsburgh. What do you think happens next there?
Well, he's under consideration with the Ravens and the Steelers and the coordinator job with the Commanders. I believe at the end of the day that Brian Flores will be back with the Vikings as defensive coordinator. That's what I believe. I don't know it, but reading the tea leaves, knowing the things that have been reported, the other stuff that is out there that you hear about on the grapevine, and, these teams are going to do a deep dive. They're going to look at what happened in Miami. They're going to look at what happened in Pittsburgh during his 1 year there. They're going to look at his time in Minnesota. The thing that he has in his favor, in Pittsburgh, they loved him during the 1 year he was there. They loved him. And that's the kind of hard-nosed defensive style they like. Now, I'll say this, even though the Steelers have gone defensive coordinator with their last 3 hires dating back to the first Nixon administration in 1969, Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin, all defensive coordinators. They understand that in the 19 years since they hired Mike Tomlin, the game has changed. It's offensive now. It's player safety now. And they may decide, we got to go with an offensive coach this time around. But the formula that has been very successful, and I'll submit to you that with each successful head coaching hire in Pittsburgh that lasts at least 15 years, it's gone 23 years, 15 years, 19 years. You put more pressure on yourself to get it right. So I think Flores is going to get serious consideration in Pittsburgh. I don't think he's going to get serious consideration in Baltimore. He will in Pittsburgh. And we'll see whether or not the Steelers are comfortable making that move. They're going to have a lot of options. The problem with having a lot of options, you eventually got to pick one. It's like being at the Cheesecake Factory and flipping through that phone book menu. A lot of stuff looks good. You got to ultimately pick one.
Brilliant. Call you next week.
See you, man.
Mike Florio, PFT. Yeah, we have a
Fox
joining us next. Calls Patriots games. And the Patriots play this weekend against the Broncos in the AFC Championship game. Bob Sosi is next.